All right, we are live. 1 minute late or 2 minutes late from the scheduled live time, as mentioned yesterday. What up? How we doing, brother? I feel like we're getting to know each other, you know? I'm gonna turn on some light. It's already light here, but I'll get some more. Let's see, that's a bit bright. Mm-hmm. Just watched this amazing video by Johnny Ive on Focus. I'm going to post it right now. Fantastic video. How much time do you spend reading, learning from courses a day? Yeah, I think about this. I've been thinking about this a lot lately. As of lately, not a lot. Maybe 20, 30 minutes per day. Yes, I would say about 20 to 30 minutes. Random YouTube videos while I'm if I stop working and I want to just like chill out, I'll maybe watch like a YouTube video by Dr. David R. Hawkins or Jordan Peterson or somebody that is nice. And courses, I haven't spent a lot of time on courses in a long time. And books, I mean, I haven't been reading too much as of lately, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I'm learning Spanish. So if you consider that part of learning, then add an extra 20 minutes to it per day. What are your thoughts on book summary? By the way, just like I think you should probably spend more time. Right now, there's just a lot of stuff going on in the agency. And part of the process of learning is coming through just doing a lot of things that you've never done before. Like for right now, I'm building agency Enlightened, and I built this really cool, what I think is like the most epic structure ever for brain dumping information into a very highly professional done module format. And it's kind of like a database for the information of Agency Enlightened within Notion. And we're going to use that database to store all the information and also, ship out and create and launch and build new modules for the future. I mean, it's got mental models in it for building modules and very, very thought-provoking questions. So stuff like that I consider also learning, but because it's like I'm learning about this unique process and how I can get better at it. But in terms of actual time spent learning from someone else's course who teaches me how to do something like that, I haven't bought a course in years related to business. What are your thoughts on book summary apps like Blinkist to speed up book consumption time to get the real meat of the book in less time? I used Blinkist for some time. I thought it was nice, but I feel like I'm a better learner reading. I kind of digest information better visually. And I like to circle things. I like to read a book and then just like, ooh, I really like that. And that book is on the shelf right there. Work Rules. It's a fantastic book. I got stuff that's like, pages that are folded. Usually on the insides of books, I'll write things like, ooh, I love this page. This page is amazing. Sometimes I'll take a screenshot of it and I'll send it in Slack. So can you share information easily with your friends or coworkers using something like Blinkist? Not really. Like if it's a 10-minute short clip or 15-minute, and from minute 1 to minute 2, you're like, ooh, I love this. Like it's not really that efficient to try to share it. Plus, I do think that they actually, they're biased on the information that they consider the best information. And so I don't really want to outsource the process of finding the ideal information within a book. Like there's books that I've read where I was like, holy shit, that entire book is unreal. Work Rules is one of those books. Principles by Ray Dalio is one of those books. I would read every page 4 times. There's just some books that are like that, where it's like 60, 70% of the book is so damn good that if you tried to condense it into 15 minutes, you'd be killing it. So it has pros, it has cons, but people learn differently, and that's another thing to consider. I believe India is a market of its own. What are your thoughts on India? Sure. Yeah. Pretty vague question. Oh, for internet marketing, for e-commerce, it's going to have like most population in a country in a year. Yeah. I mean, I'd say right now it's already a great country with a lot of emerging different markets and stuff coming out of India. I mean, we have clients who are starting to sell their products in India, Amazon India, and lots of opportunity there. But like, I'm from Canada and I speak perfect English. So, and my skill sets are better suited in the US or Canada based on the knowledge that I have. So if you have knowledge of something that could benefit within the country, that country or any other country, go for it. Hi, Taylor. How do you audit a business that is a more traditional brick and mortar and already has solid revenue, let's say over 25K per month, but they don't run ads? And Angel Vega. How are we doing? I'm assuming you are male, but you could be a female name as well, just like Taylor. Taylor's a forget the name, unisex name. You just have to think about it and do your best. How could you audit the brand? Try to answer that question. What are the things that I would need to see that would allow me to better understand the type of results I could get for this company? If they have no advertising data and you have no previous historic results that you can call upon for a business that's similar to theirs, maybe in a different city or whatever, then you're just going to have kind of vague, data to look at. Like, okay, they're not running ads, but I see that their competitors are running ads, and here's the ads that their competitors are running. So there's lots of things you can look at. Just spend 2-3 hours thinking deeply about what is it that you can actually look at that will give you insights into whether or not you can help them. You're not going to be able to give them some crazy audit that's going to say, hey, we're going to be able to increase your sales by $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 per month. The only way you can do something like that is if you have a really good software and you have tons of data of working with businesses that are similar to that business. That's the power of picking a niche and working with one ideal kind of client. Okay, if you focus on serving businesses on Amazon that do over 7+ figures per year, and all you do is their advertising for them, that's what we do. You get really good at that. And after years of serving dozens, potentially hundreds of clients, I mean, you just start to see patterns and you start to realize that, okay, this is the usual percentage that we can increase their sales. This is a formula we can use for forecasting that. And you can get very advanced in your auditing. So part of it is patience, time, and experience. And another part of it is just thinking very deeply upon what types of variables you can look at to better, audit the brand. Let me know if that helps. Hi, Taylor. Thanks for the live. Do you take notes when reading? How do you retain what you read? Yeah, I take notes. I circle things. If I really like the information, I take a picture and I send it to our different team members in our company. But I don't study it. I don't try to store all the information that I think is amazing within a database. I don't do anything crazy like that. If I do have certain notebook folders, I have a folder for Agency Enlightened, and it's called must add into course. It's literally what it's called. And if I really feel that this is such a crazy piece of information, I absolutely love it. This is amazing. I need to incorporate this into the training. I'll do that. I also have a different folder for if I'm really trying to learn about one specific subject, I'll create a folder. And if I find a great piece of information within a book, I'll take a photo of it and I'll put it in the folder and I'll circle or underline the stuff that I really like. That way I just have for example, if I don't know how to do one-on-ones with the team, I want to learn to become a better manager and do better one-on-ones. I'd buy 5-10 different books on that subject. I would create that folder and I would just take photos. Maybe it's 2 or 3 photos out of each book. Now I have 20 to 30 different photos of top amazing pieces of information from the top books on management and doing one-on-ones. And I can call on that whenever I need to. If I'm about to do a bunch of one-on-ones, maybe I'll look through that. It's kind of like you're hunting for mental models. So the way that I like to retain information is generally just look for those amazing mental models. And information is, you're going to have this kind of bias as you're going through information. There's books that I've read that I read things and just didn't even notice them. But then when I reread it a year later, I noticed all these different things that I didn't notice a year ago. And why is that? It's because a year later, when I reread the book, I had experienced all these issues. And then when I was reading the book, I was like, oh, that's what happened to me. Oh, this is what happened. Oh yeah, this is similar to this. And there's these neuro connections that are firing that weren't firing the first time, because it's just sometimes, you can't foresee the future, and you read something and it won't resonate with you because you can't see that ever happening to you or whatever. And so your brain's just that's not really that useful. And that's why it's important to reread great books. Yeah. 10 people on the live stream. It's a pleasure to be with you on this Tuesday night. We got about 10 more minutes. If there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. 11 people. Welcome, newcomer. We've been talking about how to learn, how to retain information, how to audit brands, how to audit companies, and yeah. I've been working with US and Canadian clients for the past 3 years. I'm from India and have a variety of skill sets. How can I brand my agency to provide all services like Amazon automations to e-commerce? Okay, well, let me stop you right there. Mr. Dev Motlani, when you say all services, it really freaks me out, okay? Amazon did not start selling everything. Apple did not start selling watches and phones and computers and accessories and headphones. Microsoft didn't start selling all the stuff that they sold. All of the greatest companies in the world started with one thing. And You need to have the discipline to select one service. And so whatever service it is that you feel that you're best at, that you think is most helpful for your clients, pick that service. Focus on that service. Brand your agency around that service. Do not try to offer tons of different services. The only time when you should expand your services is when you've grown your agency. We offered a second service only once we got above like $80,000, $90,000 per month. Truly, we did one service until we reached 7 figures. Simple as that. And why? Because it's so damn hard to scale 40 different services, 10 different services, 3 different services, 2 different services. Unless you have a ton of experience building an agency and you've scaled an agency to 7 or 8 figures before, and this is not your first rodeo, don't do it. Pick one damn service. And then you won't have this issue of figuring out how to brand your website, how to brand your agency. The reason why you don't know is because you can't. And the reason why you can't is because it's like, it doesn't make sense for you at this stage. Again, I lack a lot of context. I don't know where you're at. If you're doing $100,000 per month, maybe it does make sense for you to figure out how you can brand your agency. Okay. But generally speaking, if you're doing $0 to $10,000 per month, forget it. Pick one damn service. What did your plan look like when you moved out of your parents' house all the way to Panama? What was the plan? Okay, yeah. Warm weather, independence, like living on my own. Warm weather, independence, tax-free. Okay, tax-free. I don't know what else. Those are the main things, to be honest with you. There wasn't really much of a plan other than I want these 3 things. Mr. Dev, I've been stuck to one service. I've built the capital and team. My agency has done like 2.4 million in revenue. Cool. Over what time frame? What's your guys' MRR? And let me know what your MRR is. I'm at 150 to 200K per month with great profits. What's your agency website right now? I'll search it up. And maybe I can give you some feedback. What does great profits mean? Like, what is your margin percentage, roughly? And how many services do you offer? Also, how long have you been doing this for? Out of curiosity. Those are good things that give good context. Yeah, curious to see the planning that went behind that. Yeah, not much planning, you guys. I was 19 years old. I wanted to get out of my parents' house, and I wanted to be in warm weather, tax-free country, and my own damn house. I also didn't want to move out in Canada because it's cold and there's taxes, etc. 40% net profits. Okay, cool. Let me know your one service, one upsell. What's your website? I want to search up your website because I want to see how you're structuring this. I want to see how you're structuring all your services right now. Do you have a long-term vision past 5 to 10 years? Would you ever consider moving back to US, Canada, starting a different company? Yeah, the 10-year vision is to grow the agency to, I don't know if we did 5 or 10 years. Let me pull it up. It's in Asana, but I believe it was 8 million MRR. So 8 million a month was like the 10-year vision. And let's see. Yeah, 2030, we would like to be at greater than 100% annual retention rate. This is a net positive retention rate. And that the way that's possible is that you get referrals from clients, and that will boost your overall retention rate, depending on how you're calculating retention rate. There's different ways to calculate it. But that's a possible thing. I mean, there's actually very great software companies that have a greater than 100% retention rate of users. 35% plus profit margins, that'll be tough, and greater than 8 million MRR. Those are kind of the KPIs we're shooting for. We'd like to be at 500,000 per month by 2023. So that was our 3-year goal that we set in the end of 2019. So we got our 1 year, our 3 year, and our 10 year that we set. I don't know. That's kind of the vision, I guess you could say. Dev, it's rebranding. Cool. That's an epic domain. Rebranding.com. Rebranding.com. Maybe we can do an interview. Maybe I can learn some things from you, my friend. I don't know. It's not coming up for me. Rebranding.com. Rebranding.com. You mean rebrand? I don't see a rebranding. It's literally rebarnding. Oh, rebarnding.com. Nope, there's no domain for that. Dev, I can't find your domain. Can you just send the www.domain link? That'd be cool. Timed creations about tax-free. Oh, sorry. To answer your other question, Griffin, starting a different company, I'm pretty happy with Agency Enlightened Better AMS. My plan is to just completely sell all assets to companies, or take a very, very removed position, like, I don't know, chairman. Dear Lord, that sounds boring as hell. But in my mid to late 30s, or early 40s, I want to pull the plug on business and go all in on this right here. Enlightenment and dissolving the ego. I'm very excited about that. But I love business. I want to master it. I want to get to a level which is like the 0.1% only reach, which I think is like, I don't know, if you have a company with an evaluation over $30 million, and then I think you're pretty much there. At least within the agency world. In the software world, it's not that hard. But talking about a real company that's been running steady for like 5, 10 plus years, and valuation over 30, 40, $50 million, fantastic. Anybody with a net worth above like $30 million is like I don't know, I think there's only like 500,000 people on planet Earth or something that have a net worth above that. Some ridiculous statistic, but it's very few. And it's not about the money. It's just like, cool. Business is really fun. I like it. It's really cool teaching business, talking about business. I do these lives because I really enjoy it. And I think that'd be really fun, you know? Dev, I'm waiting on your website, man. You got me all excited. 2.4 million in revenue, 150 to 200K, 40% net profits. I mean, damn, dude, where's the YouTube channel? You should be teaching me. Send me your website. Maybe we'll do an interview. You know, I would have to verify your P&L and see the numbers. I don't want to bring people on unless they can verify, of course. You'd have to be comfortable with that. Or if there's anybody else listening that is running a 7-figure agency with healthy culture, healthy margins, cool. I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to have you on the channel. About tax-free. I've seen services that register a business for you in Panama to be tax-free. Is this plausible? Timed creations, yes, but like you have to live here. You know, there's certain laws you have to abide by. When I came to Panama, I worked with a law firm that helped me set up the corporation. They helped me get my residency and my bank accounts, and you know that's pretty standard anywhere you go. You're going to have companies that help you get your corporation set up, and your banking and your residency and eventually your passport. don't really help with the passport aspect, but they can kind of put you down the road of like, hey, if you're here for 5 years, like I want to get my Panamanian passport in like a couple of years. Very good to have multiple passports, ladies and gentlemen. I should make a video on why that's important. Especially in today's day and age where you never know what's going to happen with this great plan that the government wants to put in place across the earth. Yes. Angela Vega, hey Taylor, apart from being an agency owner, I'm also in the U.S. military and will have to leave at the end of the year for 9 weeks. I know you've spoken about automation and delegation. Any advice? Yeah. People, man. You won't be able to automate much. People is the automation. Like automation is your people. That's truly, like, if you want to automate your agency and remove yourself from it, you need great people. So ideally, man, you got to get like 2 people. Hopefully, ideally, you need just at least 1, but you need ideally 2 people. Hopefully, you can communicate with them while you're gone once every couple weeks at least. If not, that's okay. You should be able to have somebody, if they're trained, well-trained, and they have experience with what you're doing, and they have similar knowledge set to you, and they have good SOPs, they should be able to take care of things. Just make sure that you groom them and train them over the next, X amount of months that you have left. So appreciate your service in the military. Really cool, man. What's your agency's MRR at right now? Assuming you are running and you have clients. Also, would you say level 3 and level 4 niches work well regardless of if it's red ocean? Yes. It's just like a contextual thing when it comes to niches. Like, for example, all right, somebody give me the most ultra competitive niche that they think there is no way in hell you can be successful in right now, and I'll give you 10 trillion different ways which you could become successful in that cutthroat, deadly bloodbath of a niche. One example of that niche is like, I mean, the most obvious one that comes to my mind is like being a personal trainer, fitness. I gave the example in the video, like you find the level 4, you find the level 3 niche, and that's how you can specialize. That's how you can win. That's how you can become a big fish in a small pond and start to get to 20, 30, 40, $50,000 per month. And then once you're at 50, 40, 50, $60,000 per month, then you can be like, oh, I got the cash, I got the team, I got the resources. Let's go after this bigger niche because now we're a bigger fish and we can actually compete. Ideally, though, you find a level 4 niche that's like an inch wide and like 40 miles deep. What that means is that you've got this like insanely epic little blue ocean, and it's ridiculously profitable because there's such a large amount of people that would want that service, but there's so few people providing it. I mean, it's basic supply and demand, but sometimes there's even niches or blue oceans in which people don't even really know what they want. And until you create that thing, you've basically created or tapped into an unconscious desire. And Eugene Schwartz talks about this in his book, Breakthrough Advertising, where the cigarette companies, it was illegal for women to smoke, I believe, or something like this. And, they were targeting men for decades or something like this in all the advertisement of companies like Marlboro and the most famous cigarette companies. There was one ad that revolutionized everything and opened up the market for females, and the ad was like an image of a male and a female sitting on a bench or sitting on a rock or sitting on the edge of a pier, and the male was smoking, and the caption above them was "blow some my way," something like that. And it basically was the woman was asking the guy to like blow some smoke her way so she could inhale the smoke because she really wanted to. It was an indirect way for the advertising companies to basically open up the market for females. So it's kind of like that untapped. That's the way you can run an ad to start to, potentially open up a market. Anyways, it was a very interesting segment in the book, and I highly recommend you read it. Angel, we've been inconsistent, 10 to 15k MRR. My issue was always people hiring and training. I've really only barely started, and I'm looking to learn more. And about the level 3/4 niche question, I think real estate agents is a super bloody ocean. My niche has been Facebook PPC lead gen ads for luxury real estate brokers doing over 30k per month. Okay, cool. I really like the specificity. Congrats on getting 10, 15k a month. Inconsistent. That's okay. People training, hiring has always been your issue. That's fantastic though. Like the stage that you're at, you're pretty much like 20k per month is, in my opinion, when like you really need to have an account executive that can come in, deal with everything. They can talk to the clients, they can service the clients, they can do everything you can do. So you're going to have to get ready, and you're going to have somebody ready for when you leave. And even if, you can't necessarily afford it, you're going to have to find a way in which you can pay them during that time. Ideally, you just have somebody, and you have somebody part-time, and hopefully you have the profit margins to be able to afford that. But that's a really exciting time to be in. And for you to go from like 10 to 15 to 50 to 60,000 per month, I mean, it's like not a far jump. It's a really exciting leap. And I'm not joking. This is one of the hardest bridges to cross, that bridge that you're at right now. When you're doing 10, 15K per month, up to 20,000 a month, it's different for every agency owner. But the bridge that's hard to cross, that's the hardest effing thing to learn for most agency owners, is here I am doing all the work. I'm managing all the clients. Maybe I have some virtual assistants. Maybe I have some good softwares that can help me get the work done. But I have not yet figured out how to get these clients off my plate and have them successfully managed by someone else on my team without me needing to watch over their shoulder constantly 24/7. And that bridge is exactly what we're talking about. The bridge is people. It's hiring and it's training. It's a hard bridge to cross, but it's actually a lot easier. It's a lot easier than you think. And once you cross it, you look back and you're like, wow, I don't know why that took me so long. That's how it was like for me. Maybe for other people, they just instantly figure it out. It took me years, 2.5 years, 3 years maybe. Looking back, if I was talking to my previous self, or if I know what I know now, man, I would have hired somebody like 15,000 a month when I was still 19, 20 years old. Like the first 7-8 months of my agency, I would have hired somebody instead of waiting till like year 2.5. So hard bridge to cross. But definitely you're entering that zone where you need to start thinking about it. And I would say, given you're about to leave for as many weeks as you are, this is your one utmost important thing. But you still need to focus on marketing and signing clients to keep the revenue consistent enough to pay for their salary, which is an interesting thing to balance. So I don't know if you have other income coming in, but yeah, it's walking that fine line of balancing everything. So to answer your question about level 3-4 niche question, real estate, super bloody ocean. Yes, Facebook ad lead generation for real estate agents, I would say, is a pretty competitive market. I've heard it. I've seen it. I know there's lots of people doing it, at least from what I've seen in different Facebook groups and whatnot. But here's something to consider. Like, it doesn't matter how bloody cutthroat something may be. There is always ways to get your foot in the door and present yourself better than the previous person or the person that someone else might be working with. Is it harder than just entering a blue ocean where there's not tons of competitors? Yes, but it's still possible. And an example of this is like, zigging. When everybody's zigging, you should zag. And so if everybody in the entire marketplace is running this crazy LinkedIn automation thing that it's like a bot and it auto connects with you and it automatically sends this templated message, and then it sends a templated follow-up and another templated follow-up. If the market lead gen strategy is commonly doing this, you can do the opposite. So what is the inverse of automated lead gen strategy? It's a manual lead gen strategy. How do you do a manual lead gen strategy? And what is the opposite of automation is lack of connection, right? Like there's no personality to it. There's no personal details. And so how do we take the inverse of that? Well, we manually connect with people and we send them very personalized message. Maybe it's a 1.5, 2 minute Loom video. This is basically Trojan horse marketing in a nutshell, but you send them a 1.5, 2 minute Loom video. And ideally in that video, you also talk about something that's, and you approach your overall strategy in a very unique way. So it's like no matter how bloody and cutthroat your niche is, there's always a unique way that you can take. There's always a unique approach that you can take to your lead gen. With that being said, there's kind of like this range where it's like, okay, this is so bloody cutthroat, I probably shouldn't go near it, because even if I come up with some unique lead gen strategy, it doesn't make sense. It's better for me to transition my niche into something else that's more blue ocean, and that's a hard thing to measure. It's a lot of just subjective and objective analysis in your head, trying to balance all the different experiences and data points that you've collected in all the different conversations you've had with prospects in your market and things that you've seen, etc. So I know that's kind of a giant rant, but your niche is pretty specific. Do they need to be doing over $30,000 per month? I don't know. I think you could honestly keep your niche as Facebook PPC lead gen ads for luxury real estate brokers, and you'd probably be okay. It sounds like you're doing 10, 15K a month. Sorry, it sounds like you've got probably some decent results as it is, since you're doing 10 to 15K per month. So leveraging those case studies and going to other brokers and making sure that you immediately tell them that this is something you specialize in will be very helpful. References, offering to get them on the phone with clients of yours that are happy with your service is very easy. That's one of the best things you can do to build rapport. Hey, you're a luxury broker. I work with a luxury broker in New York. We were able to help him do XYZ. If you want to get on the phone with him and ask him about our service, I'm more than happy to do that. I just want to make sure that you feel comfortable with whatever we're doing. Don't hesitate to ask. Stuff like that goes a long way, even if they don't want to take it, just simply asking or putting the offer out there. So I don't know. I know I just ranted on that, but I think it was a good rant. Yeah, no worries, dude. The fact that I do these Q&As for free for like 10 people is amazing. I get value out of it too. I mean, it's good to talk about things. The more you talk about things, the more you kind of solidify them in your own brain. So, yeah. All right, we'll go for like 5-10 more minutes. I got to hop off soon. I'm going to answer these questions. Taylor, is it better to send Trojan Horse from an official email domain, or is it better to send them from a personal one to put their guard down? It's a good question. I mean, it might increase open rate. You'd have to test it. You'd have to test it. I've never tested the personal domain. I've only done official email domains. I've never had issues with it. And the open rates were always decent enough for me to just not bother testing it. It's kind of a lazy excuse for not testing something, but it's true. I mean, it's like if it's working well, I don't want to try to drastically change something and break it, so to speak, because I'd have to send at least 250 emails from personal domain, and that's a solid amount of emails to where I'd rather not risk it if it was a huge failure. But you can test it. Go for it. If you are not doing Amazon AWS, what kind of lead gen would you do? Amazon advertising, you mean? I would probably do similar lead gen for different niche. Same thing. What outreach tool software do you suggest for Trojan Horse marketing? Loom is very good for sending manual looms. And you can also use Loom for uploading your pre-recorded automated Trojan horse videos. If you want to automate the process, you can use Loom to upload it into. That's pretty much it. I mean, Google Sheets too, for building a database of prospects. Usman. Good to see you, Usman. It's been a while. I know that you were pretty active in the comments on different videos. I appreciate those comments. They boost the algorithm. If you were to start from scratch, what kind of business would you start in 2021? I really would love to do a pay-per-lead agency. I'm fascinated by advertising, and it's just a really cool mix of creative, subjective, objective. Pay-per-lead's a very cool model, pay for the advertising and I'll spend it, and you only have to pay X amount per lead. I really think that's cool. There's a friend of mine, not really a friend, but he's an acquaintance, Dan Wardrobe. He runs a pay-per-lead agency. He does $300,000 a month. He's got like 8 clients. He's kind of a unicorn, but he's got big clients. And yeah, he's in the not quantum mastermind with Sam. I met him in the mastermind. I don't know, but he also has a course on like specifically for pay-per-lead agencies. And I was like, that's really cool. I really wanted to do it, but I knew it just shouldn't. Unless everything went to hell, then I would go for it. Would you offer email marketing as a service for e-com? How would you get clients? Well, first of all, email marketing as a service for e-com is a vague niche. I wouldn't be able to get clients if I positioned myself like that. So, you need to identify your niche. That's step number 1. And then it becomes pretty easy. Once you got your niche down, then you can just use it, something like Trojan horse marketing. It's pretty straightforward. Pay-per-lead in what niche? I don't know. I haven't thought about it. There hasn't really been a specific niche on my mind, to be honest. What's your personality type? INTJ, I believe. INTJ. That's a sweet eagle. Thanks. There's also a little cheetah jaguar and a wolf. I like the wolf a lot. And I like the lion. That art was a gift from a client in Israel. It is you can kind of see the center, how it looks like an eye. And then it's shooting outwards to that little circle on the top left or top right, whatever. And it's coming from, it's basically like the middle is your third eye, and then it's manifesting your thoughts into reality. And that's why it goes from 2D to 3D. Very interesting piece of art by a guy locally in Panama. Yeah, it's 7 a.m. here in Pakistan, the timing of the stream. I finally started my e-commerce SEO agency and will be participating again. Waiting for your lead gen program. Thank you, sir. The Agency Enlightened program will launch probably in 4 or 5 months, but it's really for agency owners that are doing about $5,000 a month. Hopefully this YouTube channel is enough to help you get to $5,000 a month in the next 5 to 6 months. With Loom, do you just send a short video intro of yourself and then direct them to a longer video explaining your business? No, Loom is just a simple video outlining some ideas on how they can grow their business with a call to action saying book a call in the top right corner of the screen. Very simple. Hey, I congrats on, I'm gonna give you guys the Trojan horse Loom right now. All right. And it's changed because the video on YouTube doesn't do much justice. We've adjusted it. We've changed the strategy, but this is the approach that we take. Okay. What I would do is I would pull up the storefront on Amazon. Okay. Like I would pull up the brand. So I'd pull up the brand of the company that I'm about to send a Trojan horse video to on my screen. I'd pull up the brand. Then I'd pull up some of their products. Then I'd pull up some of their competitor listings. So I'd have like 5 or 6 different tabs open. Okay. But the opening tab is on their primary storefront. Think of the storefront on Amazon as like the website, basically. I'd fire up the Loom video and I would say, Hey, Jacob, I just want to say congrats on building such an epic brand. I found your brand here on Amazon. I just wanted to reach out because I think, first of all, you guys have an amazing brand, but more importantly, I think you guys have a lot of potential to grow even further. And I want to give you a few ideas, or hold on, let me pause. Not a few ideas. I want to give you a few pointers on different strategies that I think you could utilize in order to grow your brand further. So number one is, you're going to see here, you have this competitor targeting your brand name. When I search your brand name on Amazon, there's a competitor ad that shows up. And this is basically something that you can stop them from doing and help you increase your sales. Because right now this is, taking away sales from your brand. Step number two, the second thing you can do to help you increase your sales is this. And the third thing is this. And look, John, I love your brand. I think you guys have tremendous potential. I'd be more than happy to share, some more strategies, different things on how I think you guys get to grow your brand. I'll leave a link to my calendar in the top right corner of this screen. But if you don't want to book a call with me, that's totally fine. I hope you got some value out of this video. And it's a pleasure to connect with you on LinkedIn. Much love. Ciao. That is it, ladies and gents. There you go. There's the magic formula on the dot. Where's my $1 million for giving that away? I'm just kidding. It's quite useless unless you actually use it. I'm not too afraid of people copying, to be honest, because most people don't copy. They're usually too lazy. Yeah, that is pretty much the Trojan horse video strategy, ladies and gents. I should have donations open on this page. I'm just fucking with you guys. I don't need more money. Why did you move to Panama? Jacob, I answered that earlier in the live stream. If you want to watch the recording, thank you, Nathaniel, for saying that. Money signs from Angela. Laughing from Peyton. Can the person with the Trojan horse video be a Native American, for example, as I believe that'd convert more? And then I'm the one who takes the call. Would that be okay too? Usman, don't be afraid of just making the video. Look, yes, I think that there is a bias. It's not racism, okay? It is simply a bias in the human mind that states that you're going to trust someone more if they speak like you, if they talk like you, if they look like you. That is a actual bias in the human brain. If you don't believe me, you can read The Evolution of Human Psychology by Dr. David Buss, I believe it is. And that's a real thing, okay? And so I do think that, yes, it would be great if you could have somebody from the United States make the Trojan horse videos and send it. But if you're going to be on the sales call, that's going to be really weird. Like, I don't know, maybe that works. I could be wrong. But don't be afraid to send them yourself. Even if you have an accent, that's totally fine. If you want to test out both, I recommend you do that. I think that's a great idea. If you can find somebody from the States, that's totally fine. But don't be afraid of testing it yourself. You'd be surprised. I think, yes, there's a bias in the mind, but I don't care if you're from India. Like, if you make a good video and you're like, Taylor, I looked at your website, it's shit for this reason and that reason. Or I looked at your website, Taylor, this is like very obvious to me that you can, increase your conversion rate on this landing page. If you do that, I'll consider it. I'm not going to just completely disregard the message that is sent to me just because someone's from Pakistan. Our developers are based out of Pakistan. A lot of our team members are based out of the Philippines. There is no, most human beings are, I would say, benevolent, and I would go out on a limb to say that, like, most humans are pretty loving, and they're not going to judge you if you're from Pakistan. So yes, there are people who will do that, but have faith in humanity. Test it out, see what works best. What's your PayPal? I'll send the milli. Thank you. Send them to an appointment calendar instead of the actual payment page. Spanish. Yes. I mean, there is no payment page. It is just truly a phone call, book a call. Yeah, I'm not afraid due to the accent because I speak pretty good English. It's probably about the appearance and stuff, but I'll test it out. Cool. Yeah, do your best. You don't have to show your face if you don't want to. I recommend you do. It's more personal. Just try to have some good lighting, have good audio, and you're good to go. How do you increase Facebook ad conversions for chiropractors? Is it through a good offer right from the go, $30 adjustment? Sam, you're asking a question about copywriting and creative. So copy and creative. Yes, a good headline, a good call to action is great, but read Breakthrough Advertising by Eugene Schwartz. And now keep my top books on this damn bookshelf right there in that area because this keeps coming up, man. This is the book that you want to buy. You can buy it at Titans Marketing. This book went out of print, but it was so freaking legendary and so desirable and in such high demand. It was selling on eBay for like $600 a copy until this company got the rights to redistribute it. It's the greatest book ever that you'll ever read on copywriting. Another good one. How to Write a Good Advertisement by Victor O. Schwab. Those are both great books, and they should help you increase the conversion rate of your Facebook ads for your chiropractors. Just get better at creative and copy. I kind of worried about not being native, but then I saw the interview with Isabella. Not that she has a thick accent, and it was very inspiring. Cool, yeah. I mean, she didn't speak a lick of English. She came to the United States. She's got a really cool story, man. Facebook ads or YouTube ads for leads? Both. Love it. Gonna get that. Cool. All right, you guys, much love. This is way over the time that I was expecting, but it was cool. It was an hour-long live, 51 minutes, 52 minutes. I should be on tomorrow at 8:30. No promises. Try to keep my promises, but no promises. And my niche is in the beverage industry for e-com alcohol. How would you get clients for email services? Beverage industry for e-com alcohol. What's your service? What? Give me your service. I'll answer this last question. You do email marketing for companies that sell alcohol online? Is that what the service is? Email marketing for companies that sell alcohol online? Yeah. Look, I'm gonna just say Trojan Horse Marketing. I gave you the Loom video template that I use. If you missed that, just go back, watch the recording. Reach out to these founders of these alcohol companies, find them on LinkedIn. You know, sending emails with Trojan Horse Marketing is great. We've found that Trojan Horse Marketing will generally convert better if you just send it over LinkedIn. So connect with this person on LinkedIn. You can either send it in the notes section when you connect with them, or you can connect with them and then send it. Whichever one you prefer. I've tested both, but it's hard to come to a conclusion on what's best. So, you know, you can hire a virtual assistant, train them on how to find these beverage companies which fit your ideal client avatar, ideal client profile, etc. Build that database, and then you personally manually send looms. Send 250 looms. Okay, that means you're going to contact 250 unique beverage companies that fit your ideal client avatar. This should take you in total about 7 to 9 minutes per loom. So you're looking at roughly 1,800 minutes of work. Divide that by 60. That's how many hours of work that you're looking at to send those looms. It took me approximately 7.5 minutes per manual loom. And that's when a virtual assistant has already found the prospect information and they've stored it in a database. And so I just go to this database, I open up their website, I open up the brand, and then I click record, then I send it to the owner on LinkedIn. That's it. We don't even actually send looms. We don't even send these Trojan Horse videos in email anymore. We just send it over LinkedIn. So little pro tip for all of you guys who like Trojan Horse Marketing or want to get better at it. Sending in LinkedIn is a very powerful thing. Very high deliverability. Cool, Tata. Hopefully that helps. Much love, you guys. And I'll see you potentially tomorrow. My voice is like kind of going here. So appreciate all you guys. Ciao.